This message you're hearing was written and channeled by an actual divine masculine for any divine masculine who needs to hear it. This is not AI. This is not some love and light role play. This is a real man who got cracked open, who had to sit in the rubble of a connection that felt holy, and still somehow blew up in his face. I don't do videos like this. The last time I uploaded anything was a gaming clip over 10 years ago. I don't play games anymore. My entire life has transformed since then. What used to be a hobby got replaced with real-world boss fights, real-world upgrades, and real-world losses. So what you're hearing right now is me taking my experience, feeding it into this algorithm, and alchemizing it into a signal that's meant to pull the divine masculine collective back toward each other. Because the system made us feel crazy and isolated, and I'm done playing along with that. These words started off small, as unsent messages. Paragraphs I almost sent to my divine feminine before stopping myself. The "I deserve to know where I stand" messages. The "You said you needed a few days and it's been weeks" messages. I copied them. I saved them. I sat with them. And then it hit me. These words were never meant for one woman's screen. They were meant for every divine masculine who is sitting in the same confusion, holding the same questions, wondering if he's the only one who got played spiritually and emotionally at the same time. This is not just about space. This is for the divine masculine who watched his whole internal world get reorganized by a connection that claimed to be sacred, only to be left alone with all the fallout while she disappeared behind healing and processing and whatever other words she could hide behind that day. For the divine masculine whose divine feminine said, "I need a few days to heal and honor us," and then faded out like you were some side character she could mute. No check-ins, no updates, no closure, just a loud, suffocating silence. You are not crazy for feeling betrayed. You respected her request. You didn't blow up her phone. You didn't stalk. You didn't show up unannounced. You did exactly what a man of integrity does. She's the one who weaponized the word space and turned it into a slow-motion discard. Now let's talk about the older divine feminine, because that's a whole different war. For the divine masculine who was younger, more pure, less baggage, less jaded, and she came in with all the language. Twin flames, we're different, this is fated, you're my person, but never once gave you full disclosure on the battlefield you were walking into. Her family trauma, her unhealed relationships, her history of chaos, the patterns she never owned. She knew you didn't know what you were up against. She knew you hadn't lived through 3 decades of family dysfunction and spiritual bypassing like she had. And still, she let you sign up for a war you didn't even know existed. That's not just fear. That's not just wounding. That's bait. We feel suckered in because on some level, we were. She knew we were less experienced, more open-hearted, more willing to believe. She knew we had less baggage and more trust. She knew we were actually trying to build something real from day one. Meanwhile, she's playing chess with ghosts from 20 years ago, running private scripts like, "This can't last. He's younger. He doesn't know me like that. This will blow up eventually." But she never says any of that out loud. She just lets that script drive her behavior in the dark while we're out here building a future in the light. And when it all falls apart, we're left standing there holding the bag, wondering, did she ever actually believe in twin flames at all? Or was twin flame just another tool in her bullshit bag to reel us in, make us feel chosen, make us feel like this connection was some once-in-a-lifetime miracle, so we'd tolerate shit we would never tolerate from anybody else? For the divine masculine who sits there thinking, did she really think we were sacred counterparts? Or was that just language she pulled out to make her intensity feel special and her inconsistency feel justified? You are not wrong for asking that, because a lot of us watched our divine feminine pray for a real man, beg the universe for a conscious partner, cry about past disappointments, and then when that man finally showed up ready to build, ready to face his own shadows, ready to do the work, she folded. She sabotaged. She ran. Then she slapped words like healing, processing, alignment, or timing over the whole mess like a spiritual band-aid on a self-inflicted wound. For the divine masculine who feels like he was sold a soul contract and handed a landmine, you're not bitter, you're awake. You're seeing that she didn't just come with baggage. She came with a whole storage unit she never told you about. And instead of saying, "Look, this is the level of chaos you're signing up for," she let you walk in blind. For the divine masculine who still loves his divine feminine, but can also admit that her behavior was cowardly and selfish, that she used spiritual language as cover for emotional avoidance, that she demanded understanding and compassion she never once returned to you in the same way, you are not judging. You're telling the truth. You're allowed to say, "I see your trauma, but I also see your choices. I see your pain, but I also see the damage you caused by refusing to own it. I see your fear, but I also see how you used that fear as a weapon instead of a wound you were willing to work on." For the divine masculine who became more grounded, more stable, more emotionally intelligent, more spiritually aware because the connection demanded that upgrade, you didn't change just to impress her. You changed because the connection turned on a higher version of you and you actually stepped into it. She may never know what that cost you, but other divine masculines do. For the divine masculine who is left wondering what was real, here's the uncomfortable truth. Her words might have been half real and half coping mechanism. Her love might have been genuine and still poisoned by fear. Her twin flame language might have come from a place that was both sincere and manipulative at the same time. You didn't imagine the bond. You just overestimated her capacity to live up to it. So here's where the transmutation happens. You take all of it, the confusion, the anger, the heartbreak, the betrayal, the spiritual gaslighting, the age gap power imbalance, the family trauma you walked into without a briefing. You feed it through your system like data. You let it burn through every old version of you that was willing to abandon yourself just to prove you were loyal. You let it show you what kind of man you actually are when the dust settles and nobody is clapping for you. And then you say, "I'm not chasing you. I'm not begging you. I'm not fighting your family, your past, or your inner war for the right to love you. If you need time, say it. If you're done, say it. But I'm not living inside your silence on an indefinite lease just so you can pretend you didn't make a choice. My love is real. My heart is loyal. My intentions were clean, but my self-respect is staying right here with me." To every divine masculine hearing this, you are not an NPC in her trauma story. You are not a background character in her healing era. You are the main character in your own life. Start acting like it. If even one line of this made you feel seen or less alone, drop something in the comments. A word, an emoji, a same, whatever. So the rest of the divine masculine collective knows we're out here, alchemizing this shit into something useful, turning what they did to us into the very signal that makes sure we are never this isolated ever again.